I earned my degree online at Arizona State University. I chose to get my degree at ASU because I knew that I'd get a quality education, they were recognized for excellence, and that I would be prepared for the workforce upon graduating. To be associated with ASU, both as a student and alum, it makes me extremely proud, and having experienced the program, I know now that I'm set up for success. Learn more at asuonline.asu.edu.
At Arizona State University, we've made online education better, smarter, and more personalized so you can go further in your aspiring field.
I decided to pursue medicine once I realized that ASU did have the online program for biological sciences. You're still required to learn the same curriculum. You're still being tested on the same content that anyone would be tested on in person. The comprehensiveness of the program prepared me so well for medical school.
Explore over 350 plus programs at asuonline.asu.edu.
Shop the Sherwin-Williams July Summer Sale and get 30% off paints and stains July 18th through the 28th. With prices starting at $34.29, it's the perfect time to transform your space with color. Whether you're looking to revamp your interior or exterior, we have you covered with bold hues, soothing neutrals, and everything in between. Visit your neighborhood Sherwin-Williams store or shop the sale online. Delivery available on qualifying orders. Click the banner to learn more. Retail sales only. Some exclusions apply. See store for details.
You know how sometimes a big question pops into your head and, well, the first thing you do is grab your phone and type it into a search bar?
Oh, absolutely. Happens all the time.
Well, today we're diving into a topic that's clearly on a lot of minds right now, Pope Francis.
Mm-hmm.
We've been looking at what you've actually been searching for, the news headlines you're seeing, and the terms that are really spiking things like conclave, next pope, even specific names of potential successors.
Right. It's fascinating, really, to see this real-time snapshot of, well, public curiosity and concern.
Yeah, and our mission here isn't just to, list what's out there, but to really try and understand what it all means, to get beyond the simple headlines.
Exactly. And we've certainly observed a significant number of searches focusing right on the Pope's well-being.
Yeah, what kind of things?
Queries like Pope Francis' death, or did the Pope die? Even just, is the Pope dead? They're appearing really frequently.
Wow, very direct.
Very direct. And these questions, they really highlight a fundamental need people have for just current information, straight answers.
Okay, let's maybe unpack this a bit. What really struck me looking at these first searches is just how immediate they are, how factual people want the answers to be.
Mm-hmm.
You're not just asking about his health generally. It's that blunt, did he die? Question. Sometimes even with specific dates, right? Like Pope died 2025, or I saw, did the Pope die on Easter?
Yes, exactly. That points to a real urgency, doesn't it? A desire to know the situation now.
Definitely.
And this immediacy, it suggests people are looking for definitive answers, probably in what feels like a really fast-moving news cycle.
And we're seeing health concerns too, right? Not just the life or death question.
That's right. Related health concerns are surfacing. Searches for Pope Francis' health generally, but also specific things like pneumonia are appearing.
Okay, but just to be clear, seeing pneumonia in a search doesn't mean that's a confirmed diagnosis or anything.
Oh, absolutely not. But it does show maybe a particular concern or rumor that's circulating, something people have heard and are checking.
Gotcha.
And really, at its core, the sheer number of searches for, is Pope Francis still alive, just underscores the central question on seemingly everyone's mind.
And it's not just about right now, is it? I noticed a really specific interest in, the timing of things. Explain that.
Well, queries like, when did Pope Francis die? What time did the Pope die? Even what day did Pope Francis die? They're really common. It's almost like people are trying to pinpoint a specific moment it might have happened, even though, there's been no official announcement of anything like that.
That's a really interesting point. It's like preparing for the information almost. And this focus on the when, it also stretches to his time in office, doesn't it?
Yeah, I saw that too. Searches like, how long was Pope Francis Pope and when did Pope Francis become Pope? Right. Which suggests maybe a desire to understand the duration of his papacy, perhaps as a way to contextualize any potential transition.
Yeah.
Putting it in perspective.
Okay, but the search activity, it definitely doesn't stop with just questions about Pope Francis himself.
No, not at all.
There's this really strong pivot towards the future. I mean, the searches are just full of anticipation.
Like what?
Things like who will be the next pope, new pope, who's the new pope, and then even more specific ones like who will be the next pope after Pope Francis and who will succeed Pope Francis.
Yeah, the succession question, it's clearly a major, major point of interest.
It's almost immediate, the shift.
It is.
Yeah.
And what's fascinating there is how quickly that focus shifts. The term conclave also pops up frequently in searches connected to succession.
Right, conclave. Can you quickly explain that?
Sure. So for anyone unfamiliar, the conclave is that very traditional, highly secretive meeting of the College of Cardinals. They gather specifically to elect a new pope.
Got it. And people are asking about the timing of that too.
Oh, yeah. People are definitely inquiring about the timeline. We see when will the next pope be elected, when will the conclave begin, when does the conclave start, and even how long does it take to elect a new pope?
So there's an awareness, it's a whole process?
Exactly. It shows an understanding that this isn't just random. It's a structured process.
Yeah.
And it has a kind of expected duration, more or less.
And then, of course, the speculation starts. Who's it going to be?
Right. The guessing game.
Your searches, our searches, they're bringing up quite a few names. Things like Luis Antonio Tagle, Cardinal Dolan, Cardinal Kevin Farrell, Cardinal Sarah,
Harvard Sarah, yeah.
Cardinal Tagle, Timothy Dolan, Cardinal Pietro Parolin. Lots of variations on those names.
Mm-hmm. Those are indeed names that often circulate in these kinds of discussions about potential successors, the Papabili, as they're sometimes called.
Right.
The fact that they're appearing so much in searches probably reflects the media coverage people are seeing, expert opinions they've read or heard.
And it's not just names, right? There are broader searches too.
Yeah, we also see things like next pope candidates, or who is likely to be the next pope, or candidates for next pope. It shows a general interest in just who's in the running. What's the field look like?
It really is like a global guessing game. I mean, we're even seeing searches like next pope odds, who will replace Pope Francis. It suggests people are trying to figure out who the front runners might be.
Well, that's probably a natural human thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
Trying to predict the outcome of really big, significant events.
True.
And these odds, they often reflect a mix of things, perceived influence, maybe.
Yeah.
The standing of these individuals within the church hierarchy, things like that.
Now, it's interesting you mentioned context before because there's also a bit of looking back happening in the searches.
Ah, okay. How so?
We're seeing searches for Pope John Paul II and Pope Benedict XVI.
Right, his predecessors.
Yeah, and specifically queries about Pope Benedict's death, too. When did Pope Benedict die, for instance? There's also the simple, who is the Pope before Pope Francis, and even the phrase, the two popes.
Right, which could refer to the movie or the actual situation for a while there.
Could be either. But it suggests people are trying to place Pope Francis within a kind of historical timeline,
Yes, I think if we connect this to the bigger picture, these searches really show an effort to understand the current papacy in relation to recent history. Remembering his predecessors, it gives a framework maybe for understanding Pope Francis's own time as Pope.
And maybe for thinking about what comes next.
Exactly. Perhaps anticipating what qualities or approaches might be sought in his successor.
We also see searches that give us a bit more personal background on Francis himself, like Jorge Mario Bergoglio.
His birth name, yeah.
Along with Argentina and Buenos Aires. And the term Jesuit comes up quite a bit.
Mm-hmm. And these contextual searches, they're really key to understanding the man, behind the title.
How so? The Jesuit part?
Well, his identity as a Jesuit, for example, that's seen as a really significant aspect of his approach to theology, to leadership, to social issues.
Yeah.
The Jesuit order has this long, distinct history within the church. They're often known for a focus on intellectual rigor, but also social justice.
Okay, interesting. Now, getting back to the mechanics of it all, the what happens next part.
Right.
You're also asking, people are asking, what happens when the Pope dies? And how do they pick a new Pope? Or how do they choose a new Pope?
Yeah.
There's clearly a desire there to understand the actual process.
This raises an important point, I think, about the level of public understanding or maybe curiosity about how the church is governed.
Mm-hmm.
The search terms, College of Cardinals and Papal Conclave showing up, that indicates at least some awareness of the key institutions involved.
Right, the College of Cardinals. Who are they exactly?
So they're essentially a body of senior clergy, mostly bishops, who are appointed by the Pope. They serve as his main advisors, but crucially, they have the responsibility of electing his successor. That's their biggest role, arguably.
And location seems to be on people's minds, too.
Ah, interesting. Where?
Well, obvious ones like Vatican, Vatican City, but also Casa Santa Marta.
Where Pope Francis lives, yeah.
Right. And Sistine Chapel, obviously important for the conclave, and St. Peter's Basilica.
Makes sense. Those locations are just central to the Catholic Church, aren't they? They're the hubs of administration, worship, history, everything.
So their prominence in searches makes sense.
Absolutely. Especially in the context of a potential papal transition. That's where the action happens, so to speak.
And naturally, news is a massive part of this whole picture.
Oh, undoubtedly.
I mean, the search queries are just packed with news outlets. Yeah. Generic ones like news, breaking news, but also specific ones, CNN, Vatican News, ABC News, BBC News, even outlets like National Catholic Register or Reuters, NAT, all the big ones.
Mm-hmm. Fox News, CBS.
Yeah, tons of them. And direct searches too, like Pope Francis News or even Papa Francisco News.
The sheer volume of those news-related searches, it just underscores the huge global interest in Pope Francis, doesn't it? And the widespread reliance on media for any kind of updates.
Totally. Now, some of the related figures and topics that pop up are quite interesting too.
Oh, like what?
Well, we see J.D. Vance meets Pope, and then related questions about his religion. Is J.D. Vance Catholic? Things like that.
Okay.
It just shows how these papal events can kind of intersect with broader political or public discourse, you know?
Yes, encounters between the Pope and, well, public figures often generate that kind of interest and maybe speculation. It highlights the Pope's role on the world stage beyond just the church.
We also see a few other names like Peter Turkson, Jonathan Pryce.
Probably from the Two Popes movie again.
Likely. And the really intriguing search term, the last Pope.
That one likely connects to various sort of interpretations and prophecies throughout history. It reflects maybe a more esoteric kind of curiosity surrounding the papacy sometimes. Nostradamus predictions, things like that.
Right. We also see a more personal interest in Pope Francis himself. People searching for Pope Francis quotes.
His teachings, yeah.
His age, Pope Francis' age. Even Pope Francis' net worth, which is always a strange one for a pope.
Always comes up, yeah.
Questions about his last appearance or last words. And then the rather somber query, where will Pope Francis be buried?
These personal searches, they reveal that, well, natural human curiosity about the individual, don't they? The person holding this really significant office, people are interested in his life, his words, and, yeah, the details surrounding his eventual passing, including those traditions of papal burial.
And finally, there are just broader terms floating around, things like popes, pope history, Catholic Church.
General interest?
Yeah, and a lot of very direct, almost informal queries, just Pope dead, or Pope dies, Pope passed away.
Very blunt.
Yeah, plus loads of variations and misspellings, you know, Pope Francis, Pope Phronosis. It's a real mix of formal and informal ways of asking.
And that wide array, I think it demonstrates both things simultaneously. That general, enduring interest in the institution of the papacy itself, and also a very immediate, almost urgent need for up-to-the-minute information, however you phrase the question.
Okay. So taking all of this in, this whole stream of searches and questions, what are the main takeaways from this deep dive? What does it really tell us?
Well, I think it really seems to boil down to a few core areas of intense interest.
Okay.
First, there's that very direct concern about Pope Francis's current status. Just, is he okay? Is he alive?
Right. The fundamental question.
Second, if a transition were to happen, people are very focused on the timing of that event. When did it or when might it occur?
The when. Got it.
Third, there's a real curiosity about the intricate process of selecting a new pope, particularly that whole mechanism of the conclave. How does it actually work? And finally, maybe most prominently in some ways, there's just widespread speculation about who the potential successors might be. Who's next?
The who. So status, timing, process, and successors.
That's a very accurate summary, I think. These search trends, they offer this fascinating glimpse into the global consciousness, really, surrounding such a pivotal figure and, frankly, a pivotal institution.
Yeah.
It reveals, I think, a desire for clear information, definitely an awareness or at least curiosity about the established procedures, and just that natural human interest in what the future might hold for the Catholic Church.
It truly is a snapshot of a world watching and waiting and wondering. So maybe a final thought for everyone listening. As you continue to see headlines or maybe even type more questions into that search bar yourself, perhaps consider the immense historical weight, and the worldwide implications of selecting a new leader for over 1 billion people.
It's huge.
It's this ancient process unfolding right here in our very modern, very connected world. Hopefully this deep dive has given everyone a bit of a clearer lens, maybe, through which to view any future developments.
Life is a workout, and Smoothie King is here to help you power through. Whether you're grinding out bicep curls, or muscling the couch across the living room, crushing morning miles, or sprinting through back-to-back meetings, Smoothie King has fuel to help you maximize your workouts, own your recovery, and elevate your game. Give your body the energy, protein, and power it needs with a lineup of delicious smoothies made to help you conquer your goals. Only at Smoothie King.